everyone. So for this week's mini toot, we thought that we'd go over some of the key coaching points on one of the fundamental exercises that you see appear in our programs, sort of from beginner to the most advanced, and that is the 3-point dumbbell row. Now, first off, why is it called the 3-point dumbbell row, or why do we call it that? Because there are 3 points of contact between you and or 3 points of support, okay? The unsupported version means that your feet are both on the ground and your hands in front. The supported one means you're getting a little bit of extra help by having the knee on the bench. So it's a shorter lever and it's a little bit easier to maintain that trunk stability, all right? Next, when you are getting set up, the position should be with the supporting hand underneath the shoulder, all right? The knees should be in line with each other. Again, whether you're in the supported or unsupported version, your knees should be more or less in line with each other, and you should have enough space that the moving hand, the one that you're rowing with, can fall in between the legs, all right? You want to make sure that your hips and shoulders in the base position are more or less square and in line. So what you don't want is to be rotated up like this. If I were to put a block on the lower back, it should be able to stay there throughout the movement. It doesn't mean that it's not going to move a little bit, but it's quiet, all right? So it shouldn't turn so much that block would fall off. That neutral spine, so a neutral curve, your natural curve, if you're not sure where that is, do a little one quick cat and camel, okay? Cat, camel, and then find the middle point. There's your neutral spine, all right? Shoulders are slightly above hip, and again, my knees are in line. Next is when you do the pull, all right? When you're pulling the dumbbell up, you want to think about pulling it up and back towards the hip, not straight up towards the shoulder. This is for a couple reasons. Number one, if you pull it straight up towards the shoulder, you're more likely to shrug, all right? And it's also harder to keep that upper arm in contact with your ribs at the top, because that elbow will want to flip out, all right? If you pull it straight up, you're going to do this, or alternatively, a lot of times people will pitch that shoulder forward. So if you pull it back, think about pulling the dumbbell back towards your hip, you're more likely, or not more likely, but it's easier to keep that upper arm in contact. So if I line up head on, the difference between keeping that in contact and spraying that arm out is that if I had a pencil or a playing card or something, and I went to do the rope, if I did it correctly, I'm squeezing and I could keep that pencil in place. If I'm pulling it straight up towards my shoulder and my elbow flips out, I'm not keeping anything underneath there, all right? So I'm not maintaining that tension. You want to make sure that your elbow doesn't go too far past the middle of your ribs, all right? When people try and concentrate on getting their hand right up to their shoulder, again, that shoulder sort of tends to roll forward, the elbow goes out, and you don't maintain that integrity through the upper body. So think about getting the elbow, the hand back towards the hip, the elbow and upper arm tight to the body, and that's where you can stop. So if you want to get a little bit extra range of motion, I actually like it when there's a little bit of rotation through the shoulders. Not a lot, all right? You're not starting a lawnmower, but let that shoulder blade go through its natural sort of smooth glide, where I'm at the bottom and then I pull up and back and down to the bottom and up and back, all right? Again, my knees are more or less in line with one another, my hands under my shoulder, and that dumbbell is coming up and back, but I'm stopping before I get way up here, all right? Okay, so hopefully that helps clarify what you see in the demo video on the app. And will complement anything that we say, gives you a little bit more to work off of when you're first doing the exercise, or even when you've done it a lot of times, it gives you some things to think about to make sure that you're still on point with the technique. All right, let us know in the comments if you have any questions about this, or if you have some other exercises that you'd like us to do a mini tutorial on. And as always, until next time, train smart, train hard, keep fit, have fun.